So this next video, some of the newscasts and whatnot that come out of Germany, and I mean, it speaks for itself. Seriously, look at this.
For 3 decades, homeless kids in West Berlin were intentionally placed with paedophiles. An investigation by the Hildesheim University uncovered a twisted and disturbing experiment in which orphans were housed with paedophile men up until 2003. It discovered a network across educational institutions which accepted, supported, defended paedophilia. The program was based on the works of psychology professor Helmut Kendler, who argued that sexual contact between adults and children was harmless. Kendler said paedophile men would make particularly loving guardians. Berlin authorities turned a blind eye to the placements and approved them in some cases. The foster fathers even received a care allowance, and several of them were high-profile German academics.
It's the third time in a year and a half that Germany seems to be the home of a large-scale paedophilia case. This time, the police found 500 terabytes of child pornography in a suspect's house. He had been picked up by authorities twice in the past on the very same charges, but he was still allowed to go free. Even his mother is a suspect for reportedly aiding and abetting him, and worse still, she worked as a kindergarten teacher until her arrest. It's a large network, a paedophilia ring that is nationwide. So far, 11 suspects have been arrested.
No longer a crime, but only a misdemeanor. This is how Germany wants to redefine child pornography. Distribution of such content there may soon be punishable by only 6 months in prison. For possession, 3 months. The decriminalization of child pornography is supposedly to help people who download child pornography to hand it over to the police. Excerpt from a bill to decriminalize child pornography in Germany. Such cases were particularly common among parents and teachers of older children or adolescents who found child pornography material with them and passed it on to other parents, teachers or school management to inform them of the situation. It's not about helping children, it's not about helping parents, it's about decriminalizing the whole phenomenon. And here comes a second issue. The change is being praised by paedophile groups. For example, by Krame 13 activists. Members of this group have already demanded the recognition of paedophilia as a legally protected sexual identity. Legalization of paedophilia was also demanded by the Green Party, as well as one of the popular liberal politicians in the West, Daniel Cohn-Bendit. A child's sexuality is something wonderful. The feeling of being undressed by a 5-year-old girl is fantastic, because it is an absolutely erotic game. I regret that this paedophile lobby has such a huge influence. This is appalling. Therefore, all hands on deck. We need to watch over our children and prevent the European Parliament from imposing this kind of shameful regulation on member states as a next step.
Mr. Secretary, I watched President Bush deliver a moving speech at the United Nations in September 2003, in which he mentioned the crisis of the sex trade. The president called for the punishment of those involved in this horrible business. But at the very moment of that speech, DynCorp was exposed for having been involved in the buying and selling of young women and children. While all of this was going on, DynCorp kept the Pentagon contract to administer the smallpox and anthrax vaccines and is now working on a plague vaccine through the Joint Vaccine Acquisition Program. Mr. Secretary, is it policy of the U.S. government to reward companies that traffic in women and little girls?
Thank you, Representative. First, the answer to your first question is no. Absolutely not. The policy of the United States government is clear, unambiguous, and opposed to the activities that you described.
I mean, I don't know why this isn't the largest story in the country. They're using tax dollars to buy young boys, underage boys, pedophilia, for their contacts in Afghanistan. That's crazy. DynCorp not only did this, but when one of the ministers in Afghanistan complained and said, God, if people in Afghanistan even find out, I'm going to be in massive trouble. That was Interior Minister Hanif Atmar, who eventually was fired, actually. He goes over, and this is very interesting, to the U.S. and says, hey, you got to stop DynCorp from doing this. This is crazy. One, our guys tell them we don't have the legal authority. What? We don't have the legal authority to stop DynCorp from either doing this or training the soldiers? They say, no, 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 they have a contract with us to train your soldiers and your police, and we can't interfere with that. What do you mean we can't interfere with that? We're the United States government.
So because they have a contract with the government, just like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, all of them, they're allowed to do whatever they want, right? Right. That's how America works. That's how America works. So they're allowed to. What that Young Turks dude say? I mean, he likes to do dogs and all, but anywho, getting them little boys in Afghanistan. Isn't that Muslim country? Oh, they're allowed to, they're allowed to, they're allowed to rape the little boys up until the age of, I think it's 12, and not the little girls until after they're 9. It's interesting. But hey, we need to liberate them too, right? Right? It's our job. You saw what came out of USDA, which needs to be completely shut down, along with every single NGO in the country. I don't agree with any of this shit that these people are doing, and I don't care if it's a penny. But 1 penny. 1 penny. 1 penny is all it takes for me. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a part of it. And when they use our taxpayers' money, what they do, see, because nothing's spiritual, right? Nothing is. Because this is what they tell you. All of it is spiritual, okay? That's why you're not allowed to own land. This is why they make it so hard for everybody. You're already living under the credit score, okay? The social credit score. It's called credit score. We pay more in our rent than what a house would be for us to pay a mortgage on. But we can't never get there. We can get there, and we will get there. But my point being is this is how hard they've made it for all of us.